President Kerwin, esteemed faculty, friends and family, and of course, graduates of the class of 2015, I am honored to join you today for this joyous occasion. Graduations always remind me of the first time I sat on the launch pad at the Kennedy Space Center aboard the Space Shuttle Challenger. You didn't expect that, did you? Yeah. Like all of you guys, I was dressed up that day in an uncomfortable foreign outfit and forced to listen to a bunch of people while they droned their way through an elaborate ritual that just would not end. And like you, the anticipation of what was about to happen to me was a bit overwhelming. Preparing to be thrust into uncharted territories, exhilarated yet mildly terrified for what was to come. Like a lot of you, I suspect, I questioned if I was really ready for what lay ahead. Sure, I knew every detail of the countdown procedure that was unfolding around us, and of course I was well-versed in all the scientific experiments I was responsible for, not to mention how thoroughly I understood every detail of the spacesuit that would protect me when I floated outside the shuttle. But I still couldn't help but wonder if all my hard work and extensive technical training had truly prepared me for my next step as the first American woman to walk in space. Okay, before I start droning on too, let's turn it back to you guys for a bit, shall we? American University has provided all of you with opportunities that fostered your intellectual development, your creativity, and your spirit. And today you are united by that common experience. But the real strength you take with you today comes from the diversity of perspectives amongst you. As I look out upon this assembly, I see future leaders, eager to develop solutions to the problems of today and take on the challenges of tomorrow. For each of you, today is undoubtedly a day filled with joy, relief, and a tremendous amount of satisfaction. It's the culmination of a 4, or in a few cases, 5-year journey. But for one of you, this journey took a lot longer, about 31 years longer. Since taking his first higher education class 35 years ago, Steve Gamble studied Buddhism in Nepal, got married, answered your innumerable questions at the University IT Help Desk, and never shied away from asking the hard questions. When asked what it means to him to walk across this stage, Steve doesn't hesitate. He explains that his AU education instilled in him a more developed understanding of the world and a more vivid appreciation of life itself. For a handful of parents, grandparents, aunts, and uncles in this audience, this is a very special day filled with great pride as you watch the very first member of your family receive a college degree. What a fabulous moment and tremendous achievement. So I suggest that today is not simply a day to celebrate what you have in common as the class of 2015, but also a day to revel in your differences and to celebrate the environment that American University provided to foster learning about and learning through the exploration of those differences. On this day, we celebrate more than just your journey to this moment. We celebrate the capacity this journey has instilled in you for the road ahead. A capacity, a hunger to continue exploring new perspectives. And that's why I'm so excited to be speaking with you today. At T-minus 31 seconds, the elaborate countdown ritual at the Kennedy Space Center wrapped up and we got the final go for launch. Before we could blink, the shuttle leapt off the pad and we are off to infinity and beyond. Any worries or hesitation I felt before, it's seriously too late now. Within minutes, we were over England, and I got my first glimpse of this little blue marble called Earth. I was overwhelmed by the beauty of our planet, entranced with how her interconnected systems ebb and flow with one another. From that vantage point, one can hardly make out anything other than sea and land and atmosphere. Geographic borders are no more visible than are the individual people that live within them. That cosmic adventure introduced me to an entirely new perspective, one that dramatically shaped who I am today. During your time at American University, you have been blessed with an environment that encouraged similar exploration, albeit with rather more gravity and certainly much better food. AU challenged you to engage with dissenting viewpoints, ones that prod you to consider the world in a different way. And in doing so, this university shielded you from the danger of collective acceptance and complacency. Today, this institution will hand each of you a diploma to recognize your achievement. You'll be told that this document attests to your accomplishment and will prove to people, potential employers, for example, that you are ready and able to contribute to society. That's not quite right. Your diploma is, after all, just a piece of paper. It does confirm that you completed a course of study at American University with some degree of success. But that alone doesn't say anything about the value of what you gained at American University. There is one thing on your diploma that does speak to that, however, the only thing that speaks to that, and it is your name on that certificate. Your name represents who you became in reaching for this recognition. It represents the sum of all the investments you made in growing towards this day. It embodies those late nights in Bender Library cramming for next morning's exam, the thankless hours you spent working a dull job or interning on Capitol Hill, the resolve to press forward that you had to dig deep to muster after just barely passing a class in a subject that was well beyond your comfort zone, and the late nights that you spent mastering a concept not because it was on a test, but because it had so completely captured your imagination and your interest. Also, your willingness to allow the differences you encountered to unite you with your colleagues and with other people rather than to divide you and join you in the exploration of new points of view. Your name on that diploma is also a reminder of the hard work and sacrifice invested on your behalf by the people who challenged and supported you during your journey to this moment. For just like a rocket launch, college graduation is much more than a moment of individual achievement. In both instances, not in the spotlight, are many people who help us reach these culminating moments. Many who stayed up late at hours, struggled with the impossible, and put our quest before their own concerns. Remember and thank those people today, and carry the lesson of their sacrifice with you on the next leg of life's journey. Pay their gift forward to others who are on grand or difficult journeys. As of tomorrow, American University will no longer provide you with this wonderful space for intellectual exploration, this protection against complacency and groupthink. You are about to be ejected into a time of massive, turbulent global transformation. It's a time of strident and violent schisms along national, regional, and even tribal lines. And all of this is happening amid a systemic erosion of trust in public institutions. So, next generation, how will you continue to grow through diversity, to expand your horizons and refine your perspectives? How will you develop the foundational understanding you leave this campus with into a force for good? Are you ready? For me, the experience of being in space led me to understand that the most pressing challenges of my world were in fact those that face us all collectively. Circling the world every 90 minutes for days on end, it became clear to me that all of us on Earth are inextricably linked to each other as humankind. There is no I or them. We are one. And our very existence is completely dependent on the workings of that little blue marble that I could hold in the palm of my hand. And so I came to believe that I owed it to myself and the people who put me in space to make good on that unique point of view. It was this newfound perspective that led me to leap into my next professional adventure, putting scientific understanding of the Earth to work for all of us. And so when I returned to Earth, I built, not found, but built, a career focused on achieving that outcome. My work at NOAA has allowed me to make good on this and contribute to the problems most pressing in our times and most vital to our future, the problems that do not discriminate based on race, gender, or wealth. These great challenges, like so many of the past, can only be addressed by coming together and thinking of the generations yet to come. This will take listening to each other, learning and reaching for new perspectives, precisely the habits of mind and learning that your experience at American University has instilled in you. As a community, you've already proven your ability to check personal agendas at the door and work towards productive solutions as a collective. You've been subjected to more diverse backgrounds, ideas, opinions, and experiences than many people will ever come to know. And I hope you have realized through this that it was only by taking the time to stop and listen that you were able to grow and learn. Your experience at AU has also provided you with much more than an academic credential. You head off into this world with ideas and ideals, with passion and purpose, with a strong sense of what it takes to build community and of how vital community is to life. So I'm quite sure the answer to my earlier question about your readiness for the next step is yes, you are well prepared for what lies ahead. In due time, you will surely forget Bernoulli's principle, the construction of iambic pentameter, the name of Monet's most famous impressionist painting. But you will not forget the habit American University has instilled in you, nor lose the strong burning hunger to broaden your lens. We all must strive to never become complacent in our quest to seek out a more developed understanding of how our world works. And perspective is what allows us to find happiness and, as importantly, true meaning in our lives. Your journey to new perspectives actually begins today. I encourage you to search for controversy, for contrast as both revealing and catalytic, to use your ears more than your mouth, for learning can only happen when we pause to listen, to take the challenging path always, and to not be afraid of change. Like gravity, it's just kind of everywhere and forever. Resistance is futile. And always be a better neighbor. Not because it's expected of you, but because it makes you a better person. And you do know it's the right thing to do. The gift of education and the habit of exploration have prepared each of you to be leaders in your careers, your communities, and your families. Cherish this and make it count. Community is made up of people who listen keenly, think deeply, and act wisely, are those that are most able, and perhaps only able, to create progress and peace. We owe this to ourselves, we owe this to each other, and we owe this to the little blue marble called Earth. Please know that each of you has my great admiration and full confidence as you take this next step. I congratulate you and wish you each the very best of luck.